Welcome, everybody. This is the first episode of the Sonoma State Football Dynasty on the Rabbit Hole Sports YouTube channel. Excited to bring this to you guys. Got our intro and week one game in this episode. Want to get right into it and show off the conferences and how we got that all set up. I'm going for a little bit of a different angle in how we're doing the conference setup here instead of the traditional power and group concept that college football has. If you're familiar with college football, you know what I'm talking about. I'm doing essentially a Super 2, a Power 4, and a Group of 4. Super 2 being the Big Ten and SEC, so those conferences are each 18 teams, and it's all teams that essentially are supposed to be kind of the biggest brands in college football. The Power Four is the ACC, Big 12, the Pac 12, which we've brought back, and that is where I've placed Sonoma State in this dynasty, as well as the American Conference. That is the other power conference in this one. And then each year in each power conference, there will be two group conference teams playing up. So each power conference is paired with a different group conference, the Pac 12 with the Mountain West, the American with the MAC, the ACC with the CUSA, and the Big 12 with the Sun Belt, and essentially well, I won't get into fully explaining that now, I guess, but essentially the concept is of the two group teams playing up in their power conference. The one that finishes higher in conference standings remains in the power conference, while the lower finishing team is replaced by the associated group conference's conference champion, if that makes sense. But hopefully it'll make more sense as we go down the line here. But getting into the roster of our team, this is not a good team, as you can see. My hope is to make it fun with the gameplay, but we want to make it realistic. I think that's what I'm trying to, I don't know, separate myself with, is I want this to have more of a realistic feel as to what it would be like to build up a small time program, um, and really start with, the bottom level is what we're doing here. But as you can see, we go through Chase Freeman, the middle linebacker, is kind of our one, I don't know, adequate player, so to speak. But despite the team not being great, I tried to find the balance of at least creating bad players that have decent ratings in areas that can make us interesting. And I think in game one, I proved to do an okay job of that. So hopefully, at least the games will be entertaining, but I do want it to be realistic in the sense that if we go to the college football playoff or anything this year, we're going to have to readjust some settings. But we got a super young team. We got a lot of guys redshirting. I believe it's 24 total guys redshirting. And I want this program built on development. I think if you were to take over a smaller program and really look over the smaller programs that have had success, like a Boise State, right? It's not that magically they're getting a bunch of five-star dudes. They consistently develop NFL caliber guys from middle of the pack recruiting. So going through the schedule here, we open up with Hawaii and then go to ASU, Colorado, and SDSU. Then we get Nevada, Army, and Marshall. Go to UCSB, and then I know we got SMU, UNLV, Boise State, and BYU down there. I think it's a good balance of teams that will present a challenge to us and are actually decent. I think there's three or four teams that made the playoff on our schedule, SMU, Boise, and ASU. And Colorado and BYU were decent as well. Going over the recruiting here, you see who we got. Good mix of California guys. I wanted to have a good mix of Southern and Northern California players, recruit close to our pipelines, and just because I know a lot of people from Northern California from college and a lot of people from Southern California growing up. These are the sliders I'm playing on. I'm on varsity difficulty, which is A, because I'm not that great at the game, and B, I felt the animations on varsity mixed with those sliders create the most realistic sense of gameplay in terms of what kind of schemes would work and what kind of things would be successful in certain situations. As we go on in the Dynasty, we'll adjust that. Again, I want it to have a real feel in terms of how you would need to game plan, how you would need to call a game as an offensive or defensive coordinator in order to be successful with what you have against whoever we're playing. So that's something that will probably adjust throughout the Dynasty, A, as I get better, and B, as the game updates. I feel like every time they come out with an update, things change. But getting into our first game of the season here, we play Hawaii, and it is an absolute thriller. I won't spoil too much. We'll go through it here. You can see the playbooks that I chose and our uniforms, get a first look at the team, and I'm going to let the first drive kind of play through here as I talk a little more as what I'm trying to do schematically with the team. I'm essentially trying to run a hybrid of a spread option and a veer and shoot offense. So the veer and shoot, uh, up tempo, spread out, wide splits, a lot of RPOs. Um, in a way, kind of a spread option on steroids. Think less triple option and more RPOs, I guess. I don't know. I kind of maybe explained that. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. But I feel like if you're a team that is at a disadvantage personnel wise, you got to stretch the defense as much as possible horizontally and vertically. And that's what I feel like we're doing with our playbook. Defensively, I want to bring as much pressure as possible, but that's going to lead to plays like this right here as Hawaii hits a big post on a little RPO glance for a touchdown to get the scoring going. And that would be pretty much the story of the game for Hawaii. On our first drive, we get a 3rd and 15 right here. Quarterback Teron Barnes, a sophomore, going to get himself out of the pocket, make a play on the sideline here. Not quite able to turn the corner, but it sets us up to go for it on 4th and 3. We get a drag to CJ Peaks, and he gets the first down as we look to answer on our first drive. And we are able to do so right here. We got essentially bench concepts on both sides of the field. We pick the side we like, and we hit Scooter Page for the touchdown. Scooter Page is going to have a huge first half for our Seawolves. So keep an eye on him as we go on. And I don't know, it'll be pretty obvious. Just watch the guy making literally every single play for us in the first half. That's Scooter Page. But despite the big play on defense on the first drive, come back, are able to strike on offense. Defensively, though, things don't really improve. We give up the big 53-yard score here. That play where we got the D lineman coming off on the zone blitz, probably need to get out of that against a trips look. On our next drive, we get a 4th and 10. We're able to hit it the curl route against man coverage on the backside to Javion Foreman to get the first down. And here we're going to hot route into a big corner route on the outside from CJ Peaks on 1st and 15, get the motion from the back, and we're able to hit it just like that right on the sideline. A couple of big plays early for CJ Peaks and the Seawolves. Have some answers on offense. Here we're going to get into a little bit of a bootleg in the red zone, get into more of our pistol looks in the red zone, and we get Keontae Tyson, our number 1 running back, wide open in the flat for a touchdown. But Hawaii, they dominated all game, but we did force a punt there that kind of gifted us a punt, I feel like, by running a draw after throwing all over us. But hey, we'll take the stop. We actually get a chance to take the lead on our next drive. But as you can see, we get into 3rd and 24. So we quickly spoil that chance. But we do make it interesting here. Barnes is going to be able to get 18 yards on the power read. Decide to go for it, be aggressive, almost Dan Campbell-like on 4th down, and we try to hit a backside slant to Demetrius Wilson, and I feel like he was open, but a bad throw, and it is incomplete. So Hawaii gets the ball back, good field position. We get him into 2nd and 21. Can we get off the field? No, we're going to put on the worst display of tackling I've ever seen in my life, and that will be the first of 4 total touchdowns scored in the final 4 minutes and 25 seconds of this first half. So Hawaii gets the score here. Then we get a little bit of just a Scooter Page clinic the rest of the half for us on offense. So here we see the press coverage. I get the drag to create that rub there on the bottom, get Scooter open on the wheel. I went for the secure catch just because sometimes with aggressive catch, I get scared with the animations. So we go down, and then we're going to hit him here right in front of the man. And the tackling animation is kind of going to help us out there and get in for yet another Scooter Page touchdown, his second of the first half. But Hawai'i, um, I don't even know what to say. This is only the first half, but they were slinging it. They're a run and shoot team. That was part of the reason I put them on the schedule. I wanted to see how this aggressive, blitz-heavy defensive scheme would look versus a run and shoot. I figured we'd learn some things. We did. It was humbling. But we were not done yet, and neither was Scooter Page as we hit him on a 58-yard TD. And also on the 3rd and 11 before, it was Scooter Page on a catch and run for the first down to set up that big play right there. Got into a little quads bunch look off the no huddle, and we get a big play. And then we got the ball to start the second half. So we were looking to maybe get something explosive on the return, and absolutely did not. But we got a chance to control the game, starting with the ball here in the second half. And we had an opportunity to really control things, and that'll show uh, right here. But here, with the way their defense was looking, I really wanted an option look, and we get into it, and I am glad we had the time to, because we get it off to Spencer Strickland, the running back, and he's going to, oh, cheese, please. And he is off to the races down the sideline. There goes Spencer Strickland, and he is all the way to the crib, and we are up early in the second half here. So not too bad for a 69 overall team. Hawai'i was not going to make it easy. They're going to drive down. But does our secondary have a play? They absolutely do. I won't say absolutely because they did not make many. But Noah Collins right there comes up with an interception in the red zone. And at this point, you got to feel in control with things. But the big mistake may have been bringing it out right there, because on the next play here, we're going to get a little aggressive, go for a play action shot, and I'm just not aware of the pressure coming off the edge, which seems to be an issue for me. I can't seem to look at one half of the field and still see the rush. So we get safetied. We are able to find a way to get a sack, get off the field, and keep the lead. I don't know why I put this entire shift into the edit, but there we go. Us shifting on a very easy field goal attempt. It's not like that set up a block or anything, so I apologize for leaving that in. But 35-33, we have it 3rd and 13. Looks like we have Scooter on the out route right there, just cannot connect with him. And Hawai'i gets the ball back, and they're back in the end zone on a 3rd and 6. And that was really the problem down the stretch of this game, was giving up big plays and not being able to get off the field on 3rd down like we had done on the drive before, holding them to a field goal. So Hawai'i goes back up, but we get down the field, and it's going to be just a little power read, and Keontae Tyson is going to get the edge. Really liked the look right there for that play, and really had set him up with a couple of plays out of that formation earlier. We go for 2 to try to go up by 3, and it is awful. Hawai'i will get the ball back, and they're just going to keep ripping it down the field. On a 3rd and 7, we give up yet another big play on a 3rd down. And then after a stop on 1st and goal, they're going to go right to the flat against that matchup with Chase Freeman, the linebacker, and get it. And then here, they're just going to overwhelm our zone. I really regret being in that defense on the 2-point play, but oh well. But Scott McLawler is going to have a heck of a drive here, our tight end, to help us out. He's going to make this big-time catch on the corner out. Great throw from Teron Barnes, who had a huge game. We'll see in the stats afterwards. And then on a 3rd and 23, it's going to be Scott McLawler again, just on a simple little drag. But then it's boo-bah, boo-bah, and then an animation is going to shove me out of bounds to ruin what would have been a first down. But we did get the first on 4th down, and then it's Scott McLawler again. 3rd big catch of the drive. He gets another first down. Another first down to set us up in the red zone. And then it's just Teron Barnes and his legs here on a little QB draw RPO. Sets us up with a 1st and goal. And on the next play, he's going to get out of the pocket, and he's going to get the corner. And he's going to lay out for the touchdown, Sonoma State. And we have a tie game in the 4th quarter. Unbelievable. For as bad as we've been on defense, we are an extra point away from tying it up. And not to spoil anything, but we do make the extra point. I don't show it, so I don't feel bad about spoiling that. But here we have the worst camera angle of all time on a replay as Barnes gets out. and makes an exciting play. Just an exciting play to tie the game. And then our defense loves to give up exciting plays, as here we go, yet another bomb down the field. They are behind our safety, and Hawai'i takes the lead back. And then here, we're on offense. We have a chance to tie it up, get out of the pocket again with Teron Barnes. See the cutback. I want to slide, but I ended up getting the dive animation. I guess I held down X for too long. We fumble, give it back to Hawai'i. We do get him to third down again, and we just cannot get over to the tight end in time. And that would be the ball game. We'd call our last timeout. We were out of timeouts, under 2 minutes. So ball game over. Tough way to lose the first game, but all in all, super exciting. Have some things I need to adjust defensively for sure. But offensively, we were really able to accomplish everything we wanted. Really were able to get them spread out and then just hit them with quick hitting runs up the middle, and really do that enough to set up explosive runs down the field, really get them to overcommit guys down to the line of scrimmage and create some big plays. But as you can see, the story of the game is Braden Schrager throwing for 610 yards and 7 touchdowns. So I knew going in that being aggressive schematically would leave us open to some big plays in the passing game. I knew playing a run and shoot team would maybe expose that as much as possible. And a prediction you hate to be right about. We'll leave it at that. But actually, if you saw the numbers there, we did outgain Hawaii 623 to 619. But Teron Barnes had a game himself, 364 yards, 4 touchdowns. Need to get him less rushing attempts. It doesn't help that 6 or 7 of those were sacks, but need to get Tyson and Strickland involved more consistently, at least in the running game. But Scooter Page and Scott McLawler really were able to string together some big plays for us. We'd like to get Foreman and Williamson involved more, and obviously defensively, we need to do a better job at getting over the top. I need to do a much better job at figuring out which safeties I should be using in certain situations and in certain defenses, so that we aren't giving up so many big plays. Because essentially what I want to do by being aggressive and blitzing is we want to constantly create as many negative plays. We want to create as many negative plays as possible. I can explain that much better, and maybe I'll give a little more in-depth breakdown of everything scheme-wise in a different section. But this is supposed to be quick review. As you can see, Scooter Page gets Offensive Player of the Week, and we will see you next episode as we go to Tempe, Arizona.